साद्वतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णा प्रेम प्रदायिने कृष्णाय कृष्णा चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकम्। श्री कृष्णा चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतश्चार्थे सुभिज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्म हृदयादिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत् सूरयः। तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। स्वस्ति अस्तु विश्वस्य खलः प्रसीदतां ध्यायन्तु भूतानि शिवं मिथो धिया। मनश्च भद्रं भजतादधोक्षजे आवेश्यतां नो मतिरप्यहैतुकी। We are reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 11, Chapter 3, verse number 40. This is continuation of the reply given by sage Piplayana, in which he is explaining the personality of Narayana, who is also called Brahman and Paramatma. So first he explained how he is the source of creation, maintenance and dissolution. Then in the next 3 verses he explained about the Brahman and then Jiva, because he said that without understanding Jiva it is not possible to understand Brahman. So now this is the concluding verse. Says Abjanav Charnay Shanayor Bhaktya Cheto Malani Vidhamed Guna Karma Jani Tasmin Vishuddhupalabhyate Atma Tattvam Sakshad Yathamala Drisho Savitri Prakashaha. So he says that if one performs Uru Bhakti, pure bhakti or intense devotion to the lotus feet of Bhagavan, Arhi Abjanav Charana Ashnaya. So, with the intention that you want to have experience of Bhagwan, then gun karma jani cheto malani vidhamet. So then the impurities which are caused by the gunas and karmas, they are dispelled, or one should dispel. Vidhamet is giving instruction. And then when the heart becomes pure, then tasmin vishuddhe upalabhyate atma tattvam sakshat. Then one will have a direct perception of atma tattva. And atma tattva means everything Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagwan. And he gives an example, yatha amaladrisho savitri prakasha. Just as when one's vision is clear, there is no obstruction, and then one can see the light of the sun. So there is word ashna used here. There are three types of ashnas. Ashna means wish, desire, which are mentioned in Shastra many times. Vittashna, putrashna, lokashna. So first desire, which is common to everybody, is vittashna. Want some euros, dollars, right? So previously it used to be dollar, then euro came and took over. So that is the vittashna. And then people have a lokashna. They also want some status in the society, followers, and putrashna. In the olden time, dharmic people, they wanted a son so that he can do kapal kriya at the time of death and shraddha afterwards. So if you give up these three, then there is abjunab charanashnaya uru bhaktya. So then you have the desire to have the lotus feet of Bhagwan, and to have that you do bhakti. So because you can attain his lotus feet only through bhakti. Bhaktaham ekyagrahya. So for that you do bhakti, and bhakti will do two things. It will give you purification first, cheto darpan marjanam, and then we will have the experience. So that is the process described here. So commentary by Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti. Nanu yadi sushuptau nirvikar atma anubhavo bhavet katham punarapi samsarah syat. So in the previous sloka he described sandeya nidriya ganeya hamicha prasupte kutastha asmaya ashaya rite tadanusmritirna. So there he has described that when you are in the state of deep sleep, so then your ahankara also sleeps, senses also dissolve, and your kutastha, you remain in your pure form. So an objection is raised on this, and the objection is that if in the sushupti you go into the pure state, right? It says, sushupto nirvikar atma anubhavo. If you have experience of atma, pure atma, without its conditioning of subtle body or gross body, so then why you again have samsara? You should become liberated, right? You become situated in your own swarupa in the sushupti. After that, why do you again become conditioned? Why there is fall down? You are already liberated, and then you are again falling back. So this is the question which is being raised here. So yadi sushuptau nirvikar atma anubhavo bhavet katham punarapi samsara syat. So why From that liberated state, you come back to the conditioned state. So the reply is avidya tat samskaranam vidyamanatvat. So this is because avidya is still there. And the samskaras of avidya are there, vasana is there. Avidya is the root cause. Anadi avidya purusasya. So that avidya does not get removed. So that's why in Advaitavad they speak of three bodies. Generally you hear only of sthul sharira, sukshma sharira, gross body and subtle body. So they also talk about the karan sharira, causal body. That there is also causal body, karan sharira. So therefore, that causal body remains. Although the gross and subtle are dissolved, but the causal remains, and that is the cause for you to come back into subtle and then gross. So gradually you again come back. So the cause is not removed, the cause of material conditioning is not dispelled, that still remains. So that's why he says that is the reason. So kada tarhi tadrahita suddhatmanubhavet. So then if that is the case in deep sleep, then how can one become pure and have the experience of pure Atma? What is the process for that? That is the question. Tatra bhakti mishra jnana paripakena prathamam shuddha jiva anubhavam syat. So then Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is continuing on his previous statement which he made, where he said that to have experience of Brahman, you have to first have the experience of pure self, Suddhatma Anubhav or Jiva Anubhav, and then Brahma Anubhav. So he is giving the process for that from Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna is describing about the experience of Brahman in the 18th chapter. So, Ahankaram balam darpam kamam krodham parigraham vimuchya nirmamo shanta brahma bhuyaya kalpate brahma bhuta prasannatma na shochati na kankshati samam sarveshu bhutesu madbhakti labte param bhaktya mam abhijanati yavan yasyasmi tattvata tato mam tattvato gyatva vishate tadanantaram. So these two slokas he is taking to explain how you have the anubhava of the Brahman. So that's what he is describing here. So he is first giving the prelude to this. And he says, Tatra bhakti mishra jnana paripakena pratham shuddha jiva anubhava syat. That before you come to this Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma state, you have experience of your individual self by the power of bhakti, which means that you have to perform bhakti with the intention of having the experience of Brahman. Because this was also stated by Krishna earlier when Arjuna asked that Kailingair, that by what symptoms do we know that somebody has Gunanetanatitya bhavati prabho. So there Krishna said that Mam chayo vyabhicharene bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samatityetan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. That you cannot realize Brahman without bhakti. So you have to do bhakti, and that also avyabhichari bhakti. Mam chayo vyabhicharene bhakti yogena sevate. So then you become transcendental to the gunas. Then you have experience of the self and then you have experience of Brahman. And that Brahman is sheltered in Bhagavan Brahmano hi pratistham amritasya vyasati. So for that part he is writing this line, Tatra bhakti mishra jnana paripakena. That when bhakti mishra jnana becomes paripakva, means it becomes perfected, then you have experience of Shuddha Jiva. And then Brahma Bhut Prasannatma, na sochati na kankshati. So then you come to realize Brahman. Samay sarveshu bhutesu mad bhakti labte param, then you have bhakti. And by bhakti you understand so this Brahma Bhut Prasannatma is still here, but after that you will enter in that. So that is, you understand by Tattvata, that Tattvata is Brahma Rupena, that you realize that Bhagavan is Brahman personified. This is the meaning of Tattva Rupena. So these verses are interpreted in different ways, but this is the most straightforward interpretation in relationship with bhakti. So he says, Bhaktya mam abhijanati yaman yaschasmi tattvata. So then you understand me, tattvata, and then tato mam tattvato gyatva vishate tadanantara. Then you enter into Brahman, because now you know tattvata that this is Brahman. So iti bhagavaduktya bhakti uttha jnanena tatpadarthasya brahmano aproksha anubhava tato brahma saijyam iti krama. So he says, according to this statement of Bhagavan, by the knowledge which has become available because of bhakti, bhakti uttha jnanena tat padarthasya brahmano aproksha anubhava. You have the direct realization of Brahman, and then you have Brahma Saijya. So first you have experience, and then you have Saijya. So there are two things which are mentioned in these verses. So that Brahma Bhut Prasannatma na sochati na kankshati, that is the experience of Brahman. And then Vishate tadanantaram is Brahma Saijya. So these are the two states. So that's why he says that tat padarthasya brahmano aproksha anubhava and tato brahma saijyam iti krama. This is the order. Yadi tu yat karmabhir yat tapsa jnana vairagyatascha yat yogena dan dharmena shreyo bhitrairapi sarvam mad bhakti yogena mad bhakto lavtenjasa swarga pargamad dhamam kathanchit yadi vanchati. So this is spoken by Krishna later in 20th chapter. Iti vakyabalat brahma anubhushu kevalam eva bhaktim kuryat tada satyam dishati arthitam arthito nirnamiti nyayena brahma anubhavam prapya bhagavad anubhavam api prapnoti ityaha. So there are three ways to do bhakti. One is that you do bhakti as gauna, secondary to karma or jnana. Other is that you do bhakti and you keep karma, jnana, etc. as gauna. And third is kevala bhakti. So here he is now giving one step above, that you perform kevala bhakti. You want to have experience of Brahman also, but you do bhakti, pure bhakti, not mixed with jnana or anything. So then you have experience of Brahman and then you have experience of Bhagavan. And that's how he is applying this sloka in this order. So that's what he says, that yat karmabhir yat tapsa Jnana Vairagyatasya, that whatever is available by karma, austerity, Jnana, Vairagya, yoga, dan, dharma, or by any other process. All that is available by my bhakti without much effort. Mad bhakto labhate anjasa. Whether he wants heaven, he wants moksha, or he wants to go to Bhagwan's abode, that he will get. And then he cites another verse that people also do bhakti to Bhagwan with material desire. So does he fulfill them? He says, yes, satyam disati arthitam arthito nranam naivarthado yate punarapi arthito yate. He says it is true that if you perform devotion to Bhagwan with material desire, then he fulfills your desire. And if you do devotion only, not mixing with anything, then Bhagwan, he fulfills your desire, but then he doesn't feel satisfied. He says this guy will keep on coming again and again, begging for this, begging for that. So then without asking, he gives you himself. Then your desires stop. So swam vidhatte bhajtam anichchatam ichchapidanam nijpadapallam. That he stops the very source of your desires because he gives himself or his feet. So with that he says that Bhagavan then he gives him also. Idi vakya balat brahma anubabhushu kevalameva bhaktim kuryat tada satyam disati arthitam arthito nranamiti nyayena brahmanubhavam prapya bhagavad anubhavam api prapnoti. That if one is doing bhakti, although he is doing with the intention to have only experience of Brahman, but because he is doing Kevala Bhakti, so then he also gives experience of Bhagavan to this person. And that is what is being described here in this verse. Yarhi abjanav aishana yor uru bhaktya. Yada uru Kevala Bhakti tada chetso malani gun karma jani vidmet. So then by uru bhakti, uru here means Kevala. That's why he is giving this explanation, that this is not Mishra Bhakti. Earlier when he only wanted Brahma realization and nothing more, that was mixed Bhakti. But this is Uru Bhakti, Kevala. So Chetso Malani Gun Karma Jani Vidhamet, Nashet. So this will destroy all the Guna Karma, means material desires. So Tragunya Apagame Naskarmyam Yada Bhavet Ityartha. Then one will come to the state of Naskarmya. Kidrishya Abjanabhasya Charanat Charnopasnad Eva Eshna Kamna Dhruvadinam Eva Anya Kamna Api Bhavet. So he is performing devotion to the lotus feet of Bhagwan, and he may have some other kamna also, just like Dhruva has. So that is also becomes destroyed. Tada tasmin vishuddhe chetsi atmanes tat padarthasya brahmana tat pratishta rupasya bhagavatopi tattvam upalabhyate. So then he will have atma tattvam and atma tattva, therefore he gives both meaning, that he will have experience of Brahman and then also of Bhagwan. यथा अमल दृशोर दृशो पटलापगमे सति निर्मलयो सत्यो सवितु सूर्यस्य प्रकाश साक्षात. Just like when your vision becomes clear, if you have cataract and cataract is operated, then you can see clearly. Otherwise the person with cataract does not see clear. So he says sakshat. The word sakshat is used here. Sakshat yathamal drisho savitri prakasha. So then he says sakshat iti padene bhakti mahimna tat pratishtha rupaha savita api savitri bhaktene swadrigbhyam pani padadi vishishto vahanadi parakar sahito api uplabhyate. So he is giving a very unusual explanation to this verse. Generally the explanation is given, okay, you will have Brahma Anubhav. But he is adding to this that you will have also Bhagwan. So here also in the example also the word sakshat is used. So although he says savitri prakasha, yatha amala drisho savitri prakasha, Just like when your vision is clear, you will see the light of the sun. But he says the word sakshat is also there. So by that he is saying that you will also see the sun directly along with his chariot, horses, etc. Because there is also Surya Devata. So in other words, seeing the light is like Brahman. And then seeing the Savitri himself is like seeing Bhagwan. So just as this devotee will see not only the light but also the Devata. So similarly, one will see not only Brahman, which is the effulgence of Bhagwan, but also will see Bhagwan. That is the meaning of Atma Tattva. So this is the reply of Pipeline.
Logic of quoting these two verses, what he's quoting in the last
Logic
paragraph.
is simple, this that by bhakti you can get everything which is available by any other process. That is the first part. Okay? And the second thing is that if one is performing devotion, even with desire to get something, then Bhagwan will still give himself. Just he gives the example of Dhruva. So Dhruva was doing with material desire, but he was doing only devotion. So then he got what he wanted, plus he got pure devotion. So similarly, this person is engaged in, because he is playing, he is making this interpretation. This is a very minute observation he is making. He is seeing two things here. One is the word Uru Bhakti, other is the word Sakshat. So Uru Bhakti, he says Uru means Kevala Bhakti, means he is doing only Bhakti. But he was doing to have Brahman realization. So he will get Brahman realization also and then also Bhagwan. Just as you will see the light and also the Devata of the sun.
So this verse, Babaji, yat karmabhir tapasa gyan vairagyatascha yat iti vakyabalat brahmanubhushu kevalam bhaktim kuryat. So by this verse, he is meaning to say that if someone who is desirous of attaining Brahma and he does...
But he is doing bhakti.
He is doing Kevala Bhakti.
Hmm.
So that means even if one is doing Bhakti to get Brahmanubhav and not to get Seva, even that is including under Kevala Bhakti. Generally, with Kevala Bhakti we don't we include only when there is a tivra desire to get Seva.
No, you are not understanding. You do bhakti, there is Swarup Bhakti. Swarup Siddha Bhakti is there or not? So somebody is doing Swarup Siddha Bhakti with material desire. So what will you call him? Is he doing Kevala Bhakti or he is doing Misra Bhakti? He is not engaging in any actions of karma or jnana. He is doing only activities of bhakti. But he has a desire to have Brahman realization. So he will get Brahman realization, that's what he is saying. That's for that only he is citing these verses. Yat karm bhir yat tapsa gyan vairagyatas yat yogena dan dharmena shreyo bhir itrairapi. That bhakti is capable of giving you everything. Otherwise, what is the point? You are saying bhakti can give you everything, and if you have to do bhakti only to get pure love, then it is pointless to say that you can also do bhakti for material things. Right? So he is saying that you do bhakti only. This is what Bhāgavatam says. Akamo sarva kamo va moksha kamo daradhi yogena yajeta. So what does that mean? He says trivrena, with only bhakti, not anything else. Whether you are a kama, sarva kama, moksha kama, do only bhakti. So there he is not saying mix bhakti with jnana or mix bhakti with karma or mix bhakti with yoga or anything like that. No mixing. And then he brings the other verse which says that you do bhakti and you desire something material, then Krishna will give you that satyam arthitam arthito, satyam disati arthitam arthito nrinam naivarthado yate punararthito bhava yate. So that is the second part, that he gives you, but then he gives you more. So these two is applying, that you do Kevala Bhakti, Uru Bhakti for Brahman Anubhava, and you will also get Bhagavan.
These two verses, in the first case the desire is for Brahman, and in the second case the desire is for Artha.
Which second case?
The second verse which is quoted, Satyam.
Are you are not understanding the relationship of these two verses. It is not first or second. First verse is saying that bhakti can give you everything. Okay? That is the first verse which is saying. Then he is giving that, how does it give everything? He says it gives everything. Then the second part is that if you do bhakti only for something material or even moksha, then not only you will get that, but you will also get more. That is the second part. Yeah. So these are the two things, separate things he is saying. Second is not an example of the first. First is that bhakti gives you everything. Second is that if you do bhakti for something material, you will get that material plus more than that. Sandeep.
So I have actually two questions. One is that you will get the realization of Brahman and also of Bhagavan. So that Brahman realization is like nirvikalpa samadhi, and then you immediately graduate to savikal.
Yes.
It will be like that?
Yes.
Okay. Now the second question is that you have always stressed that behind any action, the intention is more important. Okay, action is important, but more than action, the importance is of the intention. So now the person can have only three intentions when he's okay, even if he is doing Kevala Bhakti, he can have only three, whether for material benefit, or for liberation, or for prema. In case, okay, material benefits he gets, like Dhruva example, plus he gets Bhagavan, prema, he gets prema. But if the person's intention is liberation, then how does he get Bhagavan? Because then he will stop at liberation only.
Just like he did not stop at the material. Dhruva wanted material, but God gave him more than that. He was not looking for that. So same here, he gets Brahman experience, and then Bhagavan gives him more. This is not his intention, this is God giving.
If he comes Ayodhya, then I'm not able to understand how he will get the experience of Bhagavan after that.
What is the problem?
If he merges in Brahman, how does he?
So Bhagavan can get him out. I mean, you are thinking that Bhagavan is just some little lowly being. And what does it mean, merges? Does he lose his existence?
No, he will not lose his identity, but then...
so therefore he pulls him out? What is the problem?
We never studied like this.
So now you can study. Why do you want...
that first few Anuchedas of Brahman realization, it was said that once that Brahman realization is done.
Yeah, because they are not doing bhakti, that's why saying that this person is doing bhakti only and not doing anything else. So Bhagavan can give like that. Just like when Krishna killed Shishupal, he entered in his body, right? But then he came out of that. Similarly, when Aghasura was killed, he also entered into his body. And then he came out. Rods.
Pranam Babaji, I'm still trying to understand the difference between Kevala Bhakti that's done with material desire and Bhakti that's mixed with karma. And one specific question I had was this concept of Bhakti that's mixed with karma, does it specifically have to be mixed with the Varnashram, karma within the Varnashrama system, or would any kind of action count there?
Yeah, Varnashram.
Okay. So in the West, like I don't have any ancestors, like I don't have a Varna.
So you don't have any problem, don't worry.
Okay, I don't have to worry about it. So I'm either doing, but what would I be doing if I wasn't doing bhakti? What would I be doing? It wouldn't be karma. It would just be, what would it be?
What? I didn't get what is your question.
Oh, I mean like, so someone living in ancient India who wasn't...
No, you have to understand this karma, the word karma has many meanings. Okay? So the simplest meaning of the word karma is just action, movement.
Okay.
Then karma means any act, whatever. You study, you walk, you eat. This is all karma. This is also what the word karma means. Then when it comes to karma yoga, means as a process of to change something, there it has a specific meaning. Means certain activities which are prescribed in the Shastra, you do that, then you will get a result from that. That's what is called karma yoga.
Okay.
So it doesn't mean any action you do and it is karma. That is just as I said, the word has many meanings. So when we are saying bhakti mixed with karma, it means we are talking about those specific activities which form the part of karma yoga.
Okay.
And you mix them.
So in my case, if I
you have no problem with that.
Okay. So I'm either doing bhakti or not doing bhakti.
Yeah,
but if I'm
simple.
doing bhakti, it's definitely not bhakti.
Your life
Okay,
is
thank
your
you.
life is simplified.
Yes. I've escaped confusion by being born outside of the Varnashrama system.
Yeah, so no confusion for you. It's simple. Either you do bhakti or you don't do it. That's all. Now that bhakti you can do with material desire or without material desire. As Sandeep was saying. Yeah, so you can do with desire for something material, desire for moksha, desire for prema. Tanmaji.
Babaji, so this bhakti would be, if you look at the definition of Uttam Bhakti, we have a Nyavilashita Shunyam, and then we have Jnanakarmadi Anavrutam. So he's saying that...
So now differentiate between Uttama Bhakti and Kevala Bhakti.
Okay.
You see, these things have to be understood in the proper perspective. So many times this problem comes when we want to mix one type of definition with another definition. Okay, we want to map one system onto another system. Then difficulty comes. So Kevala Bhakti, Ananya Bhakti, these words are also used for Uttama Bhakti. Ananya Bhakti, Kevala Bhakti, all this, Uttama Bhakti. But try to understand here, Kevala Bhakti means only bhakti activities. And here it is not Uttama Bhakti, where it is Anyabhilasita Sunyam. Because if it is Anyabhilasita Sunyam, then this Brahma Anubhavusu will not come. Because it cannot be part of Anyabhilasita then. So just like Jiva Goswami says that there is Swarup Siddha Bhakti, then there is Sang Siddha Bhakti, there is Arup Siddha Bhakti. So that Swarup Siddha Bhakti is the Kevala Bhakti. It's not mixed with anything, he's just doing bhakti. He's not thinking that, oh, if I don't do my Sandhya Vandan, then I go to hell. So some people are doing bhakti, then they're also worried, I have to do Shraddha. Recently somebody was saying, I have to do Shraddha, I feel this. I could go ahead and do it. But then it becomes mixed. That means you don't have the complete Shraddha in bhakti. So you think that this is this. You do it because you are part of the Samaj society and people are doing it. If you don't do, then you get criticized or they follow your example and they are not bhaktas. So then you set a bad example. That is a different story. But if you are doing it thinking that you are going to get something from it, so then you are mixing it. That's what mixture means. Means you actually do not have this complete faith which is described here. Yat karmbhir yat tapsa jnana vairagyatascha. So yogena dan dharmene shreyo bhiritrairapi sarvam mad bhakti yogena mad bhakto labte anjasa. So this is, not everybody believes in this. That's why there are sampradayas who say that no, you have to do varnashrama. If you don't do it, then you cannot do bhakti without that. So this is their understanding. This Bhāgavata bhakti which is described is not easily understood by people. Then it becomes other way that, okay, that means you are saying that you are against varnashrama. This is not against varnashrama also, that's not the point. But, so then do I have to follow varnashrama or I don't have to follow varnashrama? So then people are trying to establish varnashrama and then they are saying bhakti. So this is very big confusion because this clarity is not there. So not only that others have this understanding, even Gaudiya Vaishnavas are confused about this. So this has to be understood clearly what is being described here. That this is the Siddhanta Bhāgavatam from the very beginning. As I said, in second canto itself it comes. Akamo sarva kamo va moksha kamo dharadhi. Tivrena bhakti yogena yajeta purusham param. It's a very clear statement. Before that a whole list was given that if you want a good wife, worship Parvati. If you want knowledge, worship Saraswati. If you want some other siddhi, then worship Indra. So all that is there. But then he says, whatever you want, do bhakti. So etaman eva. This conclusion that this is the only. So this is the param dharma which Bhāgavatam is describing. So this is Kavalya ek prayojanam. This is the meaning. That prayojan is only this Kavalya. Kavalya means priti.
So Babaji, actually I didn't complete my question. So what I was going to say was, when I come across these kinds of verses, I go back to this definition and then add or subtract Anyavilashita Shunyam Jnana Karmadi Anavritam to understand the person's sadhana. So in this case I was going to say, so there is not Anyavilashita Shunyam, but there is Jnana Karmadi Anavritam. This person doesn't have Shraddha in karma and Jnana processes. That's why it's said that he's doing Swarup Siddha Kevala Bhakti. But he has another Abhilasha for Brahmanubhav. However, in that case, Bhagavan takes the Kevala part, that he doesn't have Shraddha in other parts, and therefore gives himself. That would be fair to conclude. So I was thinking also then, reverse, that if you were Jnana Karmadi Avrutam, that means your methods were not Kevala Bhakti. In that case, does this Nyaya not apply, this Satyam Dishati?
No, then it does not apply.
Okay, so it's the purity of the practice that counts for Bhagavan.
Because the whole thing is that are you dependent only on him or you are putting your feet in 2 or 3 different boats. Like people say that I keep many options. If this does not work, I work on that. If it does not work, I work on that. Right? Smart people do that. So here, also you may think, let me do this also. I don't want Shiva to be upset. I don't want Pitris to be upset, so I do Shraddha also. So I also give water to the people tree on Saturday. And I also do the Hanuman Vrat. Hanuman Chalisa is very important. Jai 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 Hanuman Gosai Kripa Karo Gurudev ki nahi. So I also chant that while taking bath in the morning. So Hanuman is also satisfied. So that is different. But this person says, no, I will do bhakti. If I want anything, I want from him only, that's all. Now he is not smart enough to think that why do I want this? That's the impurity. So that he will get purified. That's why he says, Cheto malani vidhamed gun karma jani. So his heart will become, because many people come, as Krishna says, Chaturvidha bhajante mam, jana sukritana arjuna. 4 types of people come. So they are not pure bhaktas, but they are doing bhakti only. These 4 types of people are not involved in Gyan karma. They come. And if they are involved, then they will get only that much.
So in this, thank you for raising that. So I was also thinking about these 4 types of devotees. So in his commentary there, Vishwanath Chakravarti explains that they get Salokya Mukti. First Krishna satisfies their desire because they are karma mishra bhaktas. So he first satisfies whatever desire they have, and then they get Salokya. And these are Pradhanibhuta karma.
So this is what is getting.
So that there they are not doing Kevala Bhakti practice. That we would have to conclude that. It's not only that they have another Abhilasha, like Artha or Jitnyasu or Tharthi, but they also don't have pure practices of Bhakti. So then they have to get Salokya and they don't get...
Not necessarily. Maybe they are only doing Kevala. So he gives them Salokya, means he brings them to his abode, which was not their intention. Because this sloka Satyam Disati, he says that he gives them his feet so that they don't ask for again more. Swam
By
Vidhat.
his feet it can mean Salokya also.
Yeah. Yes.
Thank you.
Mohini.
You explained that someone who does bhakti, he does not do Shraddha ceremony because he has the Shraddha in bhakti. So does he do Shraddha for the person who died, or does he do Shraddha for himself? And if someone does bhakti, this means the starting of bhakti is Guru Pada Shray and then taking Shiksha and Diksha. So how...
Okay, Shraddha is done for the dead person, not for yourself.
Yes.
You don't do your own Shraddha.
Yes, exactly. So how does this, if I do bhakti, if I do engage in taking shelter of Guru and then learning about bhakti, practicing bhakti, how does this take care of the person who is died and I don't do Shraddha for that person?
First of all, pronounce properly. You learn Sanskrit, so at least don't murder Sanskrit. It is not Shraddha, it is Shraddha.
Shraddha.
Say it.
Shraddha.
Yes. Learn to pronounce properly. So you have heard that Prahlad was saying that my father, I am worried about him, and Narsingadev said that I have liberated everybody. So if they are liberated, Shraddha, what is Shraddha? Means that they will not go to hell, they will be in heaven. But God is already giving more than what you want. So that is one thing. Second thing is that if you are part of the society and if it is a custom, you follow it. Okay. Anything else? Clear?
bhakti is not yet really 100%.
Then do it. If you don't,
then one has to do, or even if it is like a starting point of bhakti, even then it is taken care.
that's why I'm saying it depends on your Shraddha. Do you have Shraddha in Bhakti, which these verses I just spoke 2-3 times? That Bhakti can give you everything. Do you have Shraddha in that or not? It depends on that. If you don't have Shraddha in this, then do Shraddha.
Okay.
It all depends on your Shraddha. Bhagavan is watching. That's why I said you have put your feet only in one boat, or you are putting in different options. Okay, if this boat has a leak in it, then I jump onto the other one. I have another one waiting there. So Raja uvacha karmyogam vadata na purusho yena sanskritah vidhuya ashu karmani naskarmyam vindate param evam prashnam rishin purvam aprichham piturantike nabruvan brahmane putra tatra karanamuchyatam. So now he is asking a very important question, because this is something which people really don't understand. What is this karma yoga? Hear so much about karma yoga. What is it actually? What is karma yoga? So he is also asking. The king is also asking. That means this was a problem before also. We are not the only one. Otherwise, why the king is asking? So he says, Karma Yogam Vadatana. He says, please explain to me what is Karma Yoga. Purusho Yena Sanskrita, by which the person becomes purified. Vidhuyahi Ashu Karmani Neskarmem Vindate Param. And then by giving up karma, one becomes situated in Neskarmya. He says, earlier I had asked this question to the sons of Brahma in front of my father, but these people did not answer my question. So I'm holding this question for so long. So it is not that always the question has to be answered. And then he is even asking that why did they not answer my question? It's not that they did not know it. They are sons of Brahma, they are educated, the Kumaras, but they did not answer. So what was the reason why they didn't answer? So these are the two questions. He says first answer my question and then answer why they did not answer. Why is that I have to hold this question so long and then I ask you? So let's read the commentary. So gun karma jani vidhamet iti shrutva bhaktya jnanena cha neskarmam syat iti maya gyayate eva karmana api neskarmam yatha syat tataham jigyasetiya. So why is he asking this question now? So he says in the previous sloka, he says cheto malani vidhamet gun karma jani, that by performing uru bhakti your heart will become purified of guna karma. So he says that I know that this heart can become free from guna karma. Guna means here sattva, rajas, tamas, karma, material desires. So they can be removed by performing bhakti or by following path of Gyan Marg. These are two well-known processes. So one becomes situated in Neskarmya. So then he says that how can one attain Neskarmya by engaging in Karma Yoga? That I want to know. Because generally we think that by doing karma, you remain involved in karma, at most you go to heaven, then you come back. Shine punne marte logam vishanti, tetam bhaktva svarga lokam vishalam. Then you do again karma, then you can again go. But how can one attain siddhi or moksha by doing karma yoga? Please explain this to me. So it is with this intention he is asking the question. And then he says that I had asked this question before. Prasnam prashtavyam artham pitu ikshvako brahmana putra sanakadaya sarvagya. So he says that I had asked this question before. Evam prashnam rishin purvam apracham. So he says this question I had asked before. And this is a very good question because he says prashnam means prashtavyam. Prashtavyam means good question, which worth asking. There are some useless questions also, but this is prashtavyam. So he says that I asked in front of my father, who is the father Ikshvaku, and I asked not to some ordinary people, but to the sons of Brahma, the 4 Kumaras. And they are learned, they are Jnani Gurus, so they are Sarvagyas. But they did not answer, although they knew it. So why is that? So this is the question being raised by. So now Avirhotra says, he replies. Avirhotra uvacha. Karma karma vikarmeti vedavado nalokikaha vedasya chaishvaratmatvat tatra muhyanti surayaha. So first he says that there are 3 divisions. One is karma, other is akarma, other is vikarma. Right? And he says this is not easy to understand. Krishna also says kim akarma, kim ka akarma, karmeti, karmeti, kavyapyatra mohita. So even great people become bewildered. So these are the 3 things. So karma means that which is prescribed, that is called karma. And that which is prohibited, that is called akarma, or that is called vikarma. Different way of explaining, but generally vikarma is that which is prohibited, karma is that which is prescribed, and akarma is not doing what is prescribed. So not doing what is prescribed is akarma. Akarma does not really mean not doing anything, because not doing is also doing. You are going to get reaction for that. So he says that this karma, akarma, vikarma, it is Vedavada, na Laukika. It is only understood from the Veda. Just like this Rhodes was asking about karma. So now you see, this is the karma. The only way you can know what is karma is from the Veda. Not that you do something. That is called Laukik karma. The word karma is also used for that. That is Laukika, means material actions. And this is Vedic. So he says Vedavada. Vedavada means that it is understood only from the Vedas, not Laukika. And Vedasya cha Ishvara Atmatyata. But to understand the Veda, that is the difficult thing. Why? Because it is Ishvara Atmatva. It is known only to Ishvara. Kim vidatte, kim adhatte. What is that? Kim prakalpa vikalpate. Iti madhrdhyam nanyastu Veda. Krishna says that what it prescribes, what it gives vikalpa, what it prohibits, says it's only known to me. So he says Vedasya cha Ishvara Atmatvat. That it is born from Ishvara, or it is given from Ishvara, it is aparushaya, and therefore difficult to understand it. Tatra muhyanti surayaha. So people are bewildered in it. Why? Because when people speak, so you hear the word. Now in modern studies they say that when we are having communication, It is only 27% which is understood from the word. The rest is understood from the facial expressions, situation, all that. So 27% is very little. But since this is aparushaya, so there is nobody speaking it. It's written down. So what is the tatparya? What is his intention in saying it? It becomes very difficult. So therefore he says tatra muhyanti suraya. So this tatra muhyanti suraya comes in the first verse also of Bhāgavatam. Right? Tene brahma hridaya adi kavye muhyanti yat suraya. So then people say, oh, Hinduism this, Hinduism that, as if they understand Hinduism. In Hinduism this, that Dr. Zakir Naik is always bewildering people, quoting from Vedas, and Hindus don't know because nobody studies. So then he says, tasya pratima nasti. So he quotes, look, in the Vedas it is written, his pratima is not there. And you people are worshipping, but we don't have pratima, we are the one who are following Vedas, so join us. This is how he preaches. But tat pratima nasti means that there is nobody who is equal to him. That's what it means. Pratima does not mean, pratima also means murti form, but pratima, ma means to measure. Just like you have upama, means something like that. So there is nobody, he doesn't have any pratidvandi who can be like him. So that is the meaning tasya pratima nasti. But Zakir Naik is the Vedavad and Hindus. They say, yeah, it makes sense. So then we have Kabir who comes and puts the stamp, पत्थर पूजे हरी मिले तो मैं पूजू पहाड़, ताते तो चाकी भली, पीस खाए संसार. So he says, you people are worshipping the stone. So if you can get God by worshipping the stone, I will go and worship the mountain, which is stone personified. So he says it is better that you worship the grinding machine, because at least you get flour from that. What does it mean?
If God is attained by bathing, then he would surely be attained by the frogs and the fishes.
Is attained by bathing?
Yes.
Okay. So then they are all the time bathing.
We generally do snan.
Yeah. Yeah, there are many. गंगा के नहाने से यदि पापी तर जाते हैं तो मीन क्यों न तर गई जिसका जल में ही घर है. So there are many statements in Hinduism to attack it. So therefore he says that it is Vedavada and it is not Laukika. So it is not material, you cannot use your material intelligence. You have to actually study Purmimansa to understand Karma Yoga. You have to study Linga, Vakya, Prakarana, Sthan, Samakhya, all that. Shruti, Ling, Vakya, Prakarana, Sthan, Samakhya, Samvay, Pardorbalyam, Arth Viprakarshat. So it's complicated stuff, it's not easy. So we'll stop here, we'll read the commentary tomorrow. Yes.
Babaji, Karma Yoga, we understand it applies only for people who are born here and their families and this kind of thing, because Varnashrama Dharma. My question would be that over the centuries we have seen outsiders, we have seen Yavanas and Lichas. So how do we say what they have to do for attaining liberation then? Because Veda is not very clear on this, no? at least.
So Krishna says, Yat karoti yadasnasi yajjuhosi dadasi yat. So he is including Laukik karma also. He says, Yat karosi.
Okay.
Whatever you do, whatever you eat. So he is not only talking about Vedic karma. Otherwise he will say Vedic karma, he says Yat karosi. So taking shelter of Bhagavan. Sarvadharman parityaja mamekam sharanam.
So, yeah, I mean that makes sense because the karma will still give fruit that nobody will escape. So you do Laukik karma or Varnashrama, everything will still give fruit.
So it also came here earlier, the first Buddhi Indriya Mansa Yat Yat Karoti Sakalam Narayanaya Samarpayat. That sloka, so therefore also it was a Yat Yat Karoti. It was not only, so here also it was described.
Also, we have one Pooja, she's asking, she's a question. She just put Guruji ek sawal hai. So.
बोलो.
गुरुजी कथा मतलब अभी जो आपने श्लोक का उससे रिलेटेड तो नहीं मतलब मैंने किसी कथा में सुना था कि अगर जैसे हम भक्त हैं, भक्ति में किसी के भी प्रति दोष बुद्धि नहीं होनी चाहिए, स्पेशली अगर कोई और भक्त है या कोई है, मतलब किसी भी इंसान के प्रति दोष बुद्धि नहीं होनी चाहिए. तो मेरा सवाल ये है कि अगर हमसे ही, जैसे मैं किसी से किसी की निंदा नहीं कर रही हूँ, कुछ नहीं कर रही हूँ, पर अगर लोग आके और लोगों में चाहे वो फैमिली मेंबर हो या ऑफिस में ही होता है कि आके वो आपसे बोलते हैं कि अरे ऐसे है ये है, तो उस टाइम पे ना चाहते हुए भी लाइक मैं इन्वॉल्व नहीं होना चाहती क्योंकि मुझे पता है किसी की भी निंदा स्तुति करना या उसमें पार्ट नहीं लेना चाहिए, तो अगर सुनना भी क्या फिर वो दोष बन जाएगा?
सुनना दोष नहीं बनेगा अगर आप उसमें रस नहीं लेते हैं तो.
और जैसे घर की ही बात हो, जैसे ऑब्वियसली मम्मी पापा की ही बात हो, मम्मी ही आके पापा के बारे में बोले या फिर जैसे पापा होता है ना कि
हाँ वो तो होता ही है.
तो
उस मैं वही बता रहा हूँ ना,
उसमें क्या करें?
समय वही मैं बता रहा हूँ ना. एक तो ये होता है कि सुनना, क्योंकि हमारे कान तो खुले हुए हैं, आँख तो पलक हैं, कान पे तो कोई पलक वलक नहीं है ना. आँख तो आप बंद कर लो तो दिखेगा नहीं, अब कान का क्या करें, तो सुनाई पड़ता है ना. तो इसलिए वो जो सुन रहे हो उसमें आपको अपने मन से युक्त नहीं होना है. मन से युक्त होने से ही दोष लगता है. नहीं तो अब 50 चीज़ें आप सड़क पे जा रहे हैं, बहुत कुछ सुनने को मिलता है, तो हमें उसमें इन्वॉल्व नहीं होना. जैसे समाचार देखते हैं ना, टेलीविज़न पर समाचार आ रहा है, कोई डिबेट चल रही है, आजकल चलती रहती है ना, तो एक दूसरे की निंदा कर रहे हैं, तो उसको सुन लिया हमने, ख़त्म कहानी, फिर बंद कर दिया. तो ऐसे ही घर पे भी होता रहता.
और अगर जैसे कोई और भक्ति हो, वैष्णव जन तो नहीं बोलूंगी, बट अगर कोई ऐसे ही भक्त किसी और देवता में मानने वाले या जैसे भी है, अगर वो कोई ऐसी बात कहे जो मुझे पता है कि शायद सही ना हो, तो उसको फिर कैसे हैंडल करें? क्योंकि फिर वो दोष बुद्धि कहीं ना कहीं तो आ जाएगी कि उनको ऐसा नहीं बोलना चाहिए था या ऐसा नहीं करना चाहिए था.
नहीं, ऐसा है ना कि दोष बुद्धि दो प्रकार की होती है. एक तो किसी चीज़ को समझना कि ये ठीक है गलत है, तो उसको तो करना चाहिए ही. जैसे अगर मेरे को जाना है यहाँ से बिहारी जी मंदिर, तो मेरे को जानना चाहिए ना कि रास्ता ये वाला जाता है और ये नहीं जाता है. मैं कहूँ मैं दोष बुद्धि नहीं करूँगा, मैं इस रास्ते पर भी चलूँ, तो ऐसा तो नहीं होगा ना. तो इसलिए चीज़ को समझना कि ये ठीक है और ये गलत है, उसमें कोई दोष नहीं है. लेकिन उसमें देख के कि ये गलत है और फिर उसका फिर आप उपहास करें या उसमें रस लें, तो वो नहीं होना चाहिए.
उपहास नहीं, जैसे अगर किसी ने कुछ कहा और मैंने उस टाइम पे, क्योंकि वो भी भक्त है, मैंने कुछ प्रतिक्रिया नहीं करी, मतलब मैंने उनका सवाल जवाब या कोई, पर मैंने सिर्फ अनसुना कर दिया कि ठीक है वो आपकी राय है, एंड मैंने फिर उस चीज के ऊपर आगे ध्यान नहीं दिया, तो वो तो कोई दोष नहीं है ना. मतलब
वो कोई दोष नहीं है.
बोला नहीं कि नहीं आप गलत बोल रहे हो,
नहीं, कोई दोष, उसमें कोई दोष नहीं.
Did Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did Shraddha?
माइक ले लो, माइक.
Hare Krishna, Babaji. I have a question that few says that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself did Shraddha. So there is a controversy. Like devotees say that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself did that.
ना अद्वैत आचार्य ने भी किया था, तो चैतन्य चरितामृत.
So how to understand this?
तो मैंने पहले बोला ना, आपने सुना नहीं. मैंने कहा कि जब आप समाज में रहते हैं जहाँ उस प्रकार की प्रथा है तो उसको आप करिए, लेकिन उसमें उनका कोई श्रद्धा नहीं होती है.
So they did it out of lokachar.
लोकाचार, तो लोकाचार है तो उसको करिए आप. अब महाप्रभु को श्राद्ध करने से क्या है, उनके पिताजी तो सिद्ध पुरुष हैं, लेकिन वो लोकाचार है. जैसे उन्होंने दीक्षा लिया, अब उनको दीक्षा लेने की क्या जरूरत है. भगवान कृष्ण भी तो गए ना, लकड़ी भी उठाई जाके जंगल से, लकड़ी बीन के लाए, सिर पे रख के, आंधी में भी फंस गए, सुदामा के चने भी खा लिए. तो सिखाने के लिए यदि आचरति श्रेष्ठ तत्तदेव जन. तो वही मैं बता रहा था कि एक तो ये है कि आप उस समाज में हैं तो लोकाचार के रूप में करो. एक ये है कि मेरे को ये अगर मैं नहीं करूँगा तो मेरे पितरों का क्या होगा, वो गिर जाएंगे, ये हो जाएंगे. तो इसका मतलब आपकी भक्ति में पूरी श्रद्धा नहीं है. तो दोनों वो कर रहे हैं, वो किस दृष्टि से कर रहे हैं ये समझना होगा. वो लोकाचार की दृष्टि से कर रहे हैं कि करना चाहिए इसलिए कर रहे हैं. तो अगर आप करना चाहिए इसलिए कर रहे हैं तो फिर वो कर्म मिश्र हो जाएगा. और लोकाचार है इसलिए कर रहे हैं, ठीक है. तो यहीं पे गड़बड़ होती है, इसी में कन्फ्यूजन रहता है. फिर वो कहेंगे नहीं उन्होंने भी किया. तो यही समस्या आई ना, जब आया ना यहाँ पर, जो मैं बता रहा था कि शास्त्र जब आप पढ़ते हैं तो शास्त्र तो कोई आदमी बोल नहीं रहा है, वो तो लिखा हुआ है वहाँ पर. तो इसलिए शास्त्र को समझने के लिए फिर परंपरा की क्यों आवश्यकता पड़ती है, टीकाओं की क्यों आवश्यकता पड़ती है, क्योंकि वो दिखाते हैं कि ये आदमी क्यों कर रहा है. अगर वो हम नहीं समझेंगे तो हम अपनी बुद्धि से लगाएंगे, अच्छा इसने कर रहा है तो मेरे को भी करना चाहिए. अब वो क्यों कर रहा है, समझे ना. वो बिल्ली वाली कथा सुनी होगी ना आपने, प्रसिद्ध, कि मंदिर में बिल्ली बांधते थे भोग लगाने से पहले, सुनिए ना आपने. तो पुजारी मंदिर में चूहे आते थे, भोग ठाकुर जी को भोग रखता था वो, तो चूहे आ जाते थे. तो बड़ी समस्या. अब ठाकुर जी पर्दा लगा, उस समय कुछ कह भी नहीं सकते, वहाँ बैठ भी नहीं सकते. तो किसी ने कहा एक बिल्ली बांध दो यहाँ. तो बिल्ली को देख के चूहा नहीं आएगा. तो ठाकुर जी का भोग लगाने से पहले रोज़ वो बिल्ली लाके एक बांध देता था वहाँ पे. तो बिल्ली को देख के चूहा नहीं आएगा. अब हो गया, वे पुजारी जी मर गए. उसके बाद में मंदिर का पुनर्निर्माण किया, जाली वाली लग गई, चूहे का कोई सवाल ही नहीं आने का. पर वो बिल्ली अभी भी बांधते थे, क्योंकि वो प्रथा बन रही ना. तो फिर क्या है कि इसका मतलब उनको ये पता नहीं है कि बांध क्यों रहे हैं. तो ऐसी कुछ प्रथाएं चल जाती. तो अगर उनको पता होता कि इसलिए बांध रहे हैं तो फिर वो नहीं बांधेंगे, क्योंकि उसका तो प्रयोजन नहीं रहा. तो शास्त्र में ये जानना बहुत आवश्यक है कि क्यों किया जा रहा है, इन्होंने किस लिए किया, हमको भी ऐसा करना चाहिए या नहीं करना चाहिए. तो उनका जो आचरण है उसको देख के हम भी आचरण करें, लेकिन उसमें भी देखना पड़ेगा कि वास्तव में हमको करना चाहिए या नहीं करना चाहिए. इसलिए आवश्यकता पड़ती है गुरु की, शास्त्र की, टीकाएं, ये सब कुछ होते हुए फिर गुरु से सीखो. तो इसलिए कहते हैं ना, श्रुति स्मृति सदाचार स्वस्य च प्रिय आत्मा. धर्म के 4 लक्षण मनु ने बताए. तो सदाचार भी है उसमें और अपना भी प्रिय है, ये भी घुसेड़ दिया साथ में. एतत् चतुर्विधम आहो साक्षात धर्म से लक्षण. ठीक है.